Hi guys, Western Canadian Reviewer here, and there are days where I am forgetting to grab my product. Today's one of those days. Now that I've grabbed it, we're going to be looking at a beer that does not contain alcohol. It is sans alcohol, or non-alcoholic craft beer. It is from a brewery, I guess you can call them, if they don't, well, they still brew. Called Sober Carpenter, and it is out of, it says Montreal, Quebec, and you go to sobercarpenter.ca for it. It does have 24 IBUs. They do use malts, they do use hops, so they've got roasted barley, crystal, dark, and pale malts, and hops are East Kent Golding and Fuggle hops. Brewed in the Irish style with Windsor yeast, you'll first notice that the malt-focused aromas of this medium bodied ale, the roasted barley, translates into a subtle notes of coffee and caramel. Cheers. Now, water, malted barley, hops, yeast contains less than 0.5% alcohol by volume. And there is the label right there. And I mean, it is looking like it could be a decent beer. We all know that these beers, it only has 60 calories per can. But there's 11 grams of sugar in here, so 5%. Anyways, as I was saying, we all know that these beers do take on a different flavor when you look at non-alcoholic beers. Because they do have a process where they do take the alcohol out. That being said, this is going to be one of those reviews where I will try and do as honestly what I feel for a flavor. I'm really hesitant on doing non-alcoholic beer reviews because I do have a strong flavor profile that I like in my beers. So having something that's non-alcoholic, it kind of makes it a little harder for me to have a proper judgment of what I should think I'd be tasting. But these guys at Sober Carpenter were nice enough to send these out. So, and they do understand that this will be an unbiased review because of the fact that I did let them know before they sent it out. I said, look, I am an honest reviewer. That's who I am. They said, yep, we want honest reviews. So let's get into it. And shout out to Sober Carpenter for sending these out, as I said, at the same point in time. And I do say thank you for that. So what we do here, what we do have here is a very brown ale. There is a reddish hue to that in the foam and also in when you put it up to the light. It is looking actually quite nice overall. 1.5 fingers worth of head, lots of snap, crackle, pop, so that's dissipating really quickly. The smell on this, you do have the sense of it being a ale, but it does have that different characteristic smell of a de-alkalized beer. Like normally they do, this has it as well. It doesn't smell bad, but it does not smell like a beer. It does not smell like a red ale, so you don't get those caramel notes off of there. I get a very different smell. And again, tough to tell what it is. As you see, the head's quickly dissipated off there. Well, gotta get into it. Cheers, everybody. And thank you very much to Sober Carpenter again for this. Cheers to you guys as well. For de-alcoholized beer, the flavor is there, kind of. You do have a little bit of a caramel note. You do have a little bit of a, almost like a wheat note off of there. The malt is kind of there, but not quite. There is a remnants of a flavor profile of alkalized beer, but you do have it dissipate really quickly. It does feel a little watered down. Lots of carbonation off of there. Even though the carbonation has died on there, I do get that tingling off my tongue of carbonation. But the flavor does really, really go away quickly after you swallow. You definitely can tell that this is a non-alcoholic beer. You definitely can tell that it is, at one point in time, had a little bit of alcohol in there before it was either taken away or removed. However, you definitely can tell it is, like I said, a de-alcoholized beer. That's what I'm getting, is more of a club soda kind of flavor in part of it. Like you do get that carbonated soda or carbonated water flavor coming off of there that does seem to dial back the other flavors of the hops and the malts. It works. Strangely enough, it works. It's not the greatest flavor, but it works. It would be something that I could possibly say, yeah, okay, I can have something with a little bit of flavor, feeling like I'm drinking a beer, and if I'm driving, I know that I'm okay because I'm drinking non-alcoholic beer. I would probably, if I was a designated driver, want a real beer when I got home, because this is making me miss the beer flavor that's inside a beer. It's good. It has what it needs to keep it going. Well, folks, I'm going to get back to it. Until next time, I am Dan saying cheers, stay frosty. We'll see you real soon. And tell me if you've had Sober Carpenter before. Tell me what your thoughts are with them. I do have 2 other beers from them. I do have an IPA. I do have the wit or white ale from them. And I'm kind of looking forward to what the IPA would be like, because I did have the Partake IPA and it wasn't bad. I want to compare the two to see what exactly that's like. Anyways, have a great and safe night. We'll see you real soon. Thanks again for joining and have yourselves a wonderful time, I guess. Yeah. Cheers.